Welcome to the Herbalicious Alchemy podcast, the show where we explore the transformative powers of essential oils and their incredible ability to heal, inspire, and elevate your life. I'm Susie, a spiritual guide, teacher, and seeker, here to help you deepen your connection with yourself, Mother Earth, and the vast energies of the universe. I'm joined each week by my wonderful co-host, Sally Ann Fisher. Sally Ann is a healer and seeker who shares my passion for blending ancient practices with modern spirituality. Together, we'll guide you through the magical and healing properties of essential oils, uncovering how they can support your personal and spiritual growth, emotional well-being, and connection to the sacred. We'll weave these natural gifts into spiritual practices like tarot, the Akashic Records, and the cycles of the moon, helping you align with your higher self and live a life of intention and purpose. In today's fast-paced and often disconnected world, it's more important than ever to ground ourselves in the nurturing power of the earth and embrace the wisdom of the cosmos. This podcast is your sacred space to explore, learn, and transform. One drop of oil, one card, and one lunar phase at a time. Hello and welcome to another edition of Herbalicious Alchemy, the show where we receive a divine message from the Akashic Records, mix it with a tarot card and an essential oil to help you to move forwards in your life or your business. As always, I'm joined by the beautiful Sally Ann Fisher. Hi, Sally Ann.
Hi, Susie.
Exciting day today. We have yet another message from the Akashic Records. So this week's message was very much about community. So as I stepped into the Akashic Records, I felt like I was surrounded, right? Like in a positive way, surrounded with this community. So a community of guides was around me spiritually, but I also felt that this week's message was very much about building a community, a physical community. Now, last week on the podcast, we spoke about being supported and that you're not alone, and you have that spiritual community around you. But this week, I felt it was a very, very physical message that we need love and support around us in this physical realm to help us to move forwards. Like the time is changing. We're going through this evolution. We're growing, we're expanding. There's a lot going on energetically. And it's important that we have a community around us to ground us, to guide us, to love us, to support us, and be those cheerleaders that we sometimes need, especially as entrepreneurs. We can kind of cut ourselves off a little bit, get diving into our work. And the entrepreneurial journey can be lonely unless you've got a good spirit, a good physical community around you. So they have said that collectively you're rising, changing, and evolving. And as you go through this process, a supportive community or a support team in whatever form that looks like for you is going to be really, really important. Know that your spiritual team and the spiritual realm are there, and you can ask them to guide you to the best support team for you or the best community for you, right? And be open to that awareness of the different perhaps Facebook groups that are coming in or different opportunities with community that are available for you. Physical relationships are really, really important, right? And I kept feeling that they were stressing this. And I know personally that I like to be a hermit and I like to be at home alone. And community is really, really important. So I know that personally, I'm being pushed into building more of a community. I want to have a community, but I want to be the leader of the community, if that makes sense. So I am stepping out of my comfort zone now to be part of different communities.
I love that, Susie. I really love that because I feel like, yeah, you like to be at home and safe, and you feel like you're being pushed to step out and join some communities and have that sense of belonging. And I feel like I know that I love being I love to know that I belong to a group. I love to know that people want me to be around. I actually need to feel that people want me in their group. And
Mm.
so I have a different feeling. I feel like at the moment I'm being pushed to create more groups, to create more communities, to bring people in, to find the stragglers. Like don't suffer on your own. Come and join us. You're welcome here.
Absolutely. And that's really what the message was about, is about us collectively creating communities where you can ask for help, where you can ask for support, where you can ask for guidance, and all of these things, especially as the times are changing. And working as an entrepreneur, things are different, that different ways for us to show up, and community is at the heart of that, as well. So if you don't have a community, build one or join one, was the message. um and having a sense of belonging is really, really important to us as humans, belonging to that family, belonging to that community, or belonging to something, because it brings us security, trust, and well-being. And the last part of the message was, so join or create a community, you will thank us for it later. Which I thought was
It's
quite cool.
It's so important, Susie. Like, so I was in the military for 23 years and I loved being in the military. I knew my place, I knew what to wear, I knew how to fit in. I had wonderful people dotted all over the world, on military bases that I understood how to fit in and how to feel belonging. And it was quite an unusual feeling when I was getting to the point where I was retiring from the Air Force and I had my wellness community growing around me. And in the military, when we move from job to job to job, we move from station to station and we move from officers' mess to officers' mess and we get dined into the mess and people are told who you are and what job you're going to be doing and everybody says hello, and then at the end of your 2 or 3 years tour, somebody stands up, makes a little speech about you and thanks you for everything that you've done, and you say goodbye. And it's called dining in, dining out. And I dined out of the military, and the next week I was flying to a leadership uh, community group with the wellness European convention, and it was a very small affair because it was in the early days, and we had this lovely ballroom and a dinner, and I dressed up in my number 5 uniform, and I said to everybody that this was symbolic of me leaving the military and my old community and joining my new community. And I said it out loud because I really wanted people to understand that this was my new community and I didn't have a community to fall back on, that they were my new friendship group. And this is where I was putting my heart. And you know what? The friendships in that room 10 years ago have stuck with me, have been by my side, check in on me. And that symbolism really spoke to everybody in that room.
That's
So that,
amazing.
yeah,
Absolutely amazing. So you dined in
I dined into
and you're
my
still
doTERRA
there.
wellness community physically, telling the universe what it was that I wanted to achieve, and that symbolism for me worked amazing.
That's incredible. Incredible. Community is so, so important. It really is. Having, family, work colleagues, anybody that you feel connected with, right? It's very much about connecting with like-minded people, right? And having things in common so that you can give that support, so that you can receive support too, right? So I wonder what the tarot card's going to be
Oh,
today.
yes, let's
Let's
see.
have a look. Okay, so I'll try and hold them high so you can see if one jumps out. But when I do that, it tends to jump on the floor. Okay, so
Oh, I saw it.
we have judgment. Okay,
Judgment.
judgment.
Interesting.
Now,
Let's have a think about this, Susie.
for me, that's like Archangel Gabriel standing on the card, so you can see it on YouTube. Okay, so judgment for me is very much about forgiveness. It's about letting go of those things that you're holding on to. So maybe in relation to talking about community, maybe you have some judgments about what a community stands for, and that you have to be there all the time, and that you're going to be messaged all the time, and that you're not going to get any peace and quiet, or whatever it may be. Maybe you are placing judgments in the way of joining something that potentially could be incredibly powerful for you. And that's going to come from like limiting beliefs. That's going to come from, social beliefs as well that are imprinted on us. So I want to say, take some time to really think about the kind of community that you want to join or to start, and put some boundaries in place with it. Right? If you feel that it may be too overwhelming receiving messages and friends requests and blah de blah and blah de blah all the time, right? Put some boundaries in. Turn off your message notifications, or don't invite people to be friends, or like there's so many things that you can do so that it doesn't become overwhelming and take up your whole time. You can say, right, okay, well, I'm going to be in this community for half an hour every Tuesday, and this community for an hour every Friday, right? You get to decide how invested you want to be in the community, but also you get to put boundaries in place so that it doesn't become overwhelming, right? Especially if you're joining big groups, creating big groups, and the messages are pinging, 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 pinging. Turn off the notifications, right? And check in on it when that is right for you. But also, forgiveness. So, maybe you're giving yourself a hard time over joining a community. So maybe there's some judgment that you need to forgive to help you to move forwards and join communities with like-minded people, or communities where your clients are going to hang out, or whatever it may be. So I want to also say release the fear, right? Because I'm feeling fear coming up, right? Fear of being in a community, fear of being connected to all the time. Just remember, you get to choose when you want to be a part of that. So how does that resonate with you,
Yeah, well,
Sam?
I'm smiling because you and I are different personalities on this, and I was never entered my head about the having too much input from people, and I also wasn't thinking about online communities. I was thinking about in-person communities and joining groups, meeting people, finding those friends, like going to. I was thinking, oh. There's the gardening club in the village that I've been meaning to go along to, and I'm sure there'll be a group of people and there'll be one person there that I will just absolutely connect with, and they form that group. Going, if you're an entrepreneur, then going to network meetings
Hmm.
in person and meeting people and then deciding how to spend your time with those people. I think also judgment for me on that card, the feeling I got was the judgment of, oh, what if they don't like me? What if I'm not feeling confident? What if I feel like I can't reach out and say hello? And the judgment we place on ourselves. Of course, if you're a beautiful spirit and you're coming with good intentions, people are going to love to meet you. So you should never have that judgment over yourself when you're meeting a new community. So that was really interesting that our different personalities took us in completely different directions. And that's why I love taking a tarot card and reflecting on it and seeing what comes up.
Absolutely. That's the difference between an introvert and an extrovert for a start. But also physical meetings for me is impossible because I don't speak Italian well enough to meet different communities. So for me, it's online, right? And my clients are online. My clients aren't in Italy, unless they speak amazing English and can understand. So yeah, absolutely. Obviously, if you're going to physical things, you go, you leave. Right. And there might be like a message thing that goes on that's not too overpowering. So yeah, definitely. So Sally Ann, thinking about community, thinking about support. I think a little bit of confidence may be needed here too. What oil are you thinking?
Yes. So I was thinking cedarwood. Don't know if you were thinking about cedarwood because cedarwood is an incredible oil. It promotes feelings of confidence.
Perfect.
It promotes the feelings of self-esteem and it's really good for wellness generally. It's also the oil of trust, which means we
Yeah.
have to trust ourselves when we join these communities. We have to trust other people. It's a really, I think it's an unsung hero, to be honest, Susie. I
Mm,
think cedarwood does so many things and it's such a gentle oil. It can be used on even the most sensitive skin, for incredible healing benefits. In fact, there are 5 oils that are in a really beautiful ointment called Correctex, which we use for bugs, bites, stings, anything to do with the skin. And cedarwood is in there because it's so calming to the nerves and it's so beautiful for the skin. So I think the oil of trust and belonging, is cedarwood. What do you think?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm just smelling it because I love the smell of cedarwood. I think it's an amazing smell. For me, I use it very much for grounding, right? Grounding all the things in that I'm doing, grounding in that spiritual guidance, grounding myself so that I don't, go off with the fairies, um, too often. So, yeah, let's do cedarwood. I think that is absolutely amazing. So let's talk about the spiritual benefits. So, as I said, it grounds your energy, it grounds you into Mother Earth, and Mother Earth has all this amazing goodness and abundance and wealth and knowledge and all of the things for us. It helps us to create strong foundations. So, as I was saying a little bit earlier, we need to put those boundaries in place. So, foundations, boundaries to help us to get to where we want to be and not to be too overwhelmed. It enhances meditation, and connection to spirit guides and light beings as well, which is also really, really powerful. Um, you can use it for past life healing, karma clearing, and ancestral work as well. And it strengthens the root chakra. So the root chakra is our base chakra. And this is where we ground into the earth, but it also opens our crown chakra at the top of the head. So it brings balance between earth and spirit, or Mother Earth and source creation. And it can help release fear. We brought up fear with the tarot card, so it can help release fear and help us to step into our personal power, which is really, really powerful. We set boundaries and foundations from our personal power. So what about the emotional benefits of cedarwood, Saliam?
Oh, well, the emotional benefits are fantastic. It's very calming to the mind and the body. And you already mentioned about how it is grounding. And so, from an emotional point of view, it can really steady our emotions, especially people that are feeling like disconnected or rushing around. They can't really focus on one task, and they're trying to start lots of different projects. Then cedarwood's going to be really good for calming them down, centering them, and helping them to feel like they can achieve. It's really good for people that are feeling anxious, any anxiety. The cedarwood's going to really work. The way that I like to use it best is through sleep. So obviously you need healthy habits of going to bed on time, but there's this wonderful thing that you can do. You can put cedarwood on your feet and you get into bed. And then you get the duvet and you give it a good old waft, and the smell of the cedarwood comes straight up the bed, and I feel like I'm bathing my entire body in the energy and the vibration of cedarwood, and I get such a great sleep. It just sets my mind and my emotions into the perfect transition into sleep. So that's my favorite way of using cedarwood. What else does it do? I think it's going to make you feel more supported, more connected. So when you're
Mhm.
feeling a bit apprehensive, maybe you've got that little bit of anxiety and you're going to a community event in person or you're joining online, then to use the cedarwood We're going to hold it over our nose. We're going to breathe it at least 3 times through the nose. It's going to set the chemistry of feeling more self-assured, more confident. It's going to make us feel like we belong. We're going to feel like we belong. And if we feel like we belong to the community, it's going to make it easier for other people to connect with us. And they're going to feel like they belong to us. We're going to feel like we belong to them. It's going to create this beautiful synergy of confidence when you're trying to connect with your community online. I think it's an absolutely fabulous oil, and I really ought to buy a second bottle, not just living over there, but I should literally have it on my computer ready to use every single time I'm trying to connect with people.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's so good for encouraging a sense of belonging and connection to others, for sure. Again, as with frankincense, cedarwood has so many amazing benefits. It can also help with your skin. It can help your respiratory system. It can purify your immune system, and enhance focus and concentration and reduce mental fatigue. So there is so much that this amazing oil can do to help you, right? We talked a little bit about trust as well. So building that trust in yourself, trusting that the things that you choose for yourself are right for you, trusting in your intuition, right? Trusting in the guidance that your spirit team are giving you to help you to build or create or join a community, right? So I would love for you to practice bringing something in that you want in regards to community. So it could be the right community to make connections, or the right community to help you be more creative. Whatever it may be, I'd like you to, really get calm, centered, focused, and ask your spirit team to show you the right community for you to join.
Amazing. I just had a thought with your card. A little flash of inspiration popped in when you were talking about fear and judgment. And I think you talked about the lone wolf as well. And it's very easy when you are the lone wolf, when you are working on your own, to feel like you've got to do everything yourself. And I think Cedarwood's also going to help you feel like you can trust and bring on people that you maybe don't know. You use that frankincense so you can see the truth. You can tell if they're trying to pull the wool over your eyes. You can feel their spirit, know if they're really for you. You can use your cedarwood to help you get that connection with that person and to trust that person and build a nice relationship with that person. And you're going to help them and they're going to help you. And you don't need to be that lone wolf on your own. You can work as a community together.
Absolutely. So Sally Ann and I are creating a new community. So we'll let you have some more details on that. It will be based on Facebook, where you can find all of our information. You'll find readings in there, tarot wisdom and Akashic wisdom in there, essential oils of the week, and so many more things. So I will put the information in the description for this podcast.
Perfect. Perfect. Have we got a moon? We did moon.
No, we didn't do moon
We
yet.
didn't
So,
do moon. I was like, have we done
moon.
moon? I can remember. Yeah, let's do the moon,
Let's
Susie.
do the moon. Okay, so the moon phase for this amazing essential oil is the waxing crescent moon. So we've set our intentions at the new moon. The waxing crescent moon is the first phase after this where we want to gain clarity. Okay, waxing crescent moon is all about clarity. It's all about grounding your ideas into reality. So we want clarity on the kind of communities that we need to build or join to help us to move forwards. We want to ground those intentions into reality. We want clarity on the action steps that we need to take at the first quarter moon to move us forwards. So this is definitely an amazing moon phase that we can use cedarwood in, and it's going to be really, really powerful because you can also connect to higher beings and your support team, as well as physical communities with this. And you get that sense of belonging, right? Which is really, really important. So, Sally Ann, do you have some affirmations for us for this week?
Absolutely. So we want some affirmations for community and belonging. So we're going to put our cedarwood in our hand. We're going to breathe it through our nose while we say the affirmations. I am surrounded by a strong and loving community. I trust in the connections that uplift and support me. I attract meaningful relationships that nourish my soul, and I am open to new friendships and deeper connections.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Love all of those affirmations. Okay, so thank you very much for joining us today. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to subscribe to the podcast, to follow us on Facebook and join our new community. Also, we love comments, so do let us know how this podcast resonated with you this week. Share with us how communities have helped support you and move you forward and your experience of communities. And we look forward to seeing you next week, where we are going to explore another Akashic message, tarot card, and moon phase. Okay, so together we will uncover one drop of oil, one tarot card, and one lunar phase at a time. Until next week, bye for now.
Bye for now.